This tutorial is for 3rd grade, Module 7, Lesson 28. In this lesson, we're going to solve word problems involving both perimeter and area. Question 1 says Gia measured her rectangular garden and said the length is 9 yards and the width is 7 yards. Estimate to draw Gia's garden and label the side lengths. So I'll start by making my rectangle. And we'll label the length as 9 yards and the width as 7 yards. That means the opposite side would be 7 yards and the bottom would be 9 yards. The first question says, what is the area of Gia's garden? Well, the area would tell us how many square units are in the inside of the rectangle. To find the area, we would multiply our length times our width. 9 times 7 is 63. So the area would equal 63 square yards, because again, when we're looking for area, we're looking for the number of squares that make up the inside of the shape. The next question says, what is the perimeter of Gia's garden? The perimeter would be the distance around the garden. Just as if we were to put a fence around the garden, we would need to know that total length, which means I need to add all 4 sides. So I would add 9 plus 7 plus another 9 plus another 7 to come up with my final answer. Well, 9 plus 7 is 16. Another 9 and 7 is 16. 16 plus 16 is 32. I know that because 15 plus 15 is 30, so 16 and 16 would be 2 more, so 32. That means the perimeter of the garden is 32 yards. It's not square yards because again, we're only measuring the length, so it's 32 yards. The next question says, Elijah drew a square that had side lengths of 8 centimeters. Estimate to draw Elijah's square and label the side lengths. Well, since it's a square, we know that all 4 sides are equal, and they are all 8 centimeters. So I'll label each side, showing 8 centimeters for all 4 sides. The next question says, what is the area of Elijah's square, meaning how many square units make up the entire square? And to find area, we take length times width, which would be 8 times 8, or 64. So the area is 64 square centimeters. The perimeter of the square would be found by adding all 4 sides. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. We could also look at that as 4 times 8, or 32. So the perimeter of the square is 32 centimeters, and that just tells us the length around the square. As a follow-up to that question, the next question says, Elijah connected 3 of his squares to make one long rectangle. What is the perimeter of this rectangle? I'll start by drawing his 3 squares all connected to make one long rectangle. And each square had a side length of 8 centimeters. So that means this distance is 8, this distance is 8, and this distance is 8, and each side length is 8 as well. And I'll fill those measurements in on the bottom. And now we need to find the perimeter of the rectangle, the distance all the way around. Well, I'm going to count how many 8s I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections, and each section is 8 centimeters long. Notice that we do not count these 2 side lengths on the inside of the rectangle. The perimeter is only measuring the outside of the rectangle. And again, that was 8 groups of 8, which is the same as 8 times 8, which would be 64. I could also find that measurement by finding each length measurement and adding it to the two width measurements. So the bottom is 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is 24. That means the top is also 24. So the four sides would be 24 plus 8 plus 24 plus 8. Let's rearrange that to, let's do 24 plus 24 plus 8 plus 8. 24 and 24 is 48. 8 plus 8 is 16. Let's see, for 48 plus 16, let's do compensation addition here. 48 plus 16 would be the same as 50 plus 14. I took 2 away from the 16 and put it on the 48 to make that 50. 50 plus 14 is 64. And those two answers match, so I know I'm correct. And that means the perimeter would be 64 centimeters. So just a couple of different ways you could go about finding that answer. Let's look at one more problem. This one says the area of Mason's rectangular painting is 72 square inches. The width of the painting is 8 inches. Estimate to draw Mason's painting and label the side lengths. So we have a rectangular painting and we know the width is 8 inches. We don't know the length, but we do know the area. The area is 72 square inches. To find area, we would take our length, which we don't know, times our width, and that would give us a total of 72. So some number times 8 equals 72. Using my basic facts, I know that 9 times 8 is 72. That means the length is 9 inches. So I'll write that down here. Now, knowing that, what is the perimeter of Mason's painting? And the perimeter is the distance around the entire painting. That would be 9 plus 8 for this side, and then another 9 for the bottom, plus another 8 for the other side. Well, let's see, 9 plus 8 is 17. 17 plus 17 would be 34. So the perimeter of the painting would be 34 inches.